Larry Sabato is a longtime White House observer. He's the director for the University of Virginia Center for Politics and joins me from Charlottesville, Virginia. Larry, thank you very much for taking the time. So here we go. Sean Spicer yesterday in that news conference making a number of gaffes. Also, I should mention, he referred to concentration camps as the Holocaust Center, apologizing. Is that good enough? Or, you know, there were some people suggesting that Sean Spicer should resign, that this is just too much. He's too gaffe prone.
Well, that's up to the president. The president can't be pleased with the way that Sean Spicer is projecting an image for his administration. Then again, the president himself makes mistake after mistake, gaffe after gaffe. I'd have to say, though, having watched White House press secretaries for many decades, Sean Spicer is, without question, the worst. You have to go back to Richard Nixon to find a press secretary that was even partly as bad, Ron Ziegler, during Watergate. But this is the president's decision. If that's what he wants, that's what he's going to get.
But doesn't that, I mean, you know, what kind of message do you think that sends to the American people and to the world to have someone like Sean Spicer, you know, we all make mistakes, but to make the kind of mistake he made, talking about, you know, how Hitler didn't gas his own people and referring to concentration camps as the Holocaust Center?
Yes, and during Passover, the timing was especially bad. Look, there's no way to excuse it, and of course it does look terrible. Some conspiracy theorists have suggested that Trump likes Spicer out there because Spicer makes even more mistakes and gaffes than Trump does, and therefore indirectly makes Trump look better.
So, all right. So that's Sean Spicer. Let's move on a little bit. Maybe we should talk about Rex Tillerson, you know, and Sergei Lavrov. Rex Tillerson, the Secretary of State. We just heard him speaking in Moscow about the very tense relationship between the United States and Russia over Syria. What do you make of his role in this White House?
He has been peripheral to this point. I think he might become more important over time, though, because he's had a long career in business, in corporate America, ExxonMobil, and he's traveled a great deal and does know many foreign leaders. He may have a more substantive role. But right now, at least in terms of the Russian relationship, I'm convinced that he and others are almost trying to portray as difficult a relationship between the United States and Russia as possible. Why? Well, we all know there's a major investigation underway to determine to what degree Russia tried to influence the American election and help Donald Trump win the presidency. Clearly, it makes Trump and his administration look better, and to make the theory that the Russians elected Trump look more implausible if the current relationship between Russia and the United States is tense.
Okay, let's talk about Jared Kushner and his wife Ivanka, that they're playing a big role in this White House in influencing the president's decisions. That's certainly what seems to be suggested. Do you think that they have too much power with too little experience?
Very probably. On the other hand, they seem to be more moderate than some of the other advisors, some of whom also have virtually no experience and who are identified with the far, far right. So I guess you want to pick your poison. Also, Trump can't fire his daughter and his son-in-law. So if you're going to bet on a winner in this palace intrigue, you'd probably bet on Jared and Ivanka.
Some would say he shouldn't have hired them in the first place, though.
Well, it probably wasn't wise, but he's president. John F. Kennedy used Bobby Kennedy, and we've had other family relationships, but this one is especially odd because Donald Trump has no governmental experience whatsoever, and of course Jared and Ivanka have no governmental experience whatsoever.
And let me just ask you very quickly, because we have to go, but you mentioned the far right, other people in the White House, and I know you're referring to Steve Bannon. He seems to be someone that has been sidelined and someone that had more of an isolationist view of the United States, whereas Jared Kushner and Ivanka seem to have more of an international view of the role of the United States. Do you see that division in the White House, and who seems to be winning?
Well, as I said, I think you always bet on the relatives, since a president can't fire his relatives. But Bannon has been with Trump for a long time. What was interesting to me, though, is that Trump has actually minimized Bannon's role recently, claiming that he was only with him at the end. This is untrue, and it suggests to me that there really is a breach there.
Sir, appreciate you taking the time. Interesting to get your insight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Larry Sabato is a longtime White House observer. He was in Charlottesville, Virginia, where he is the director of the University of Virginia Center for Politics.